Patrons, if you are like me, you ask yourself, why do adventurers choose the lives that they do? It is an intriguing question to those in my profession. So often do we consider the motivations of heroes, that it is not uncommon for us bards to take on this dangerous lifestyle ourselves, if for no other reason than to better understand the inner workings of the heroes and heroines we enshrine in song and story. For me, dear patrons, the difference between a true adventurer and a common sellsword is in the heart of the hero. Heroes are compelled by something in the core of their being, a drive to overcome, an urgent need to stand in the face of adversity and boldly go where few others have gone before. I only bring this up for the tale of the Abomination vaults is taking its true shape. I apologize now. Perhaps you thought this tale would be a traditional one, that the heroes would always win, and through the strength of their spirit they would hurl down every threat the gauntlet could throw at them without fail. No, my friends, the heroism and victory will indeed be found all throughout this story. Its pages are already drenched in the blood of the fallen, and as you shall soon see, there is more to come. I believe as our tale further unfolds, you too will come to admire the brave men and women who risked their very lives to confront the evil of Gauntlet. And no, dear patrons, I will not tell you whether our tale has a happy or sad ending. There is still so much more to tell before we get to the conclusion. Let us begin our telling of this chapter outside the manor of the Menhamis family. Our heroes had been summoned there for a town meeting after the events of the night before, when Gauntlet had brought hundreds of undead back to life. Though the party and Otari town guard had managed to contain the threat, it had been at great cost. Almost a quarter of the city guard lay dead, as well as dozens of citizens and numerous buildings damaged. Fear and anger hung heavy in the air that morning. The party was welcomed to the mayor's manor by Osip's daughter, a girl named Doriana. She was a young girl, barely a teenager, with a bright smile but sleep-deprived eyes. Doriana was pleased to host the heroes of Otari and happily engaged them in conversation as she welcomed them into her home. Through conversation, the party uncovered that Doriana had been getting little sleep, as she had terrible nightmares about Gauntlet, and heard a voice inviting her to enter the lighthouse. Runa told her in no uncertain terms never to enter Gauntlet Keep, to which Doriana wholeheartedly agreed. She also demonstrated the ability to move things with her mind and whisper her thoughts into the minds of others, though she confided that she had not learned how to reliably use these abilities yet. Doriana took the heroes to the east wing of the manor, where several leaders from Otari had gathered to discuss what to do about Gauntlet's reawoken power. Though Osip tried to keep order in the meeting, a furious Carmen Rajani blamed the mayor for not heeding his warnings about Gauntlet over the past 2 years. Carmen stormed out, unable to contain his frustration any longer, leaving an awkward silence hanging in the air. The owner of Golantine Deliveries, a woman named Alaria, confirmed that word had been sent out across the Isle of Quarters asking for the aid of experienced adventurers, but that the isle was filled with troubles and adventurers were neither plentiful nor cheap. Mayor Osip asked the party for their help, to which they agreed, even giving some gold and resources to further supply our heroes for their next excursion into the tower. Despite this support, he refused to give the party unlimited resources and the blade of cooperation. He did not seem proud to say it, but he confessed to the party that with Wazanari's death, there was no guarantee that anything Otari donated to their cause would return to them. After the meeting, the party went to Rin in order to purchase more supplies, and Runa brought up Doriana's nightmares. Rin promised to try and help Doriana if Osif would bring her to the shop, though she seemed doubtful the mayor would do so since she believed her mannerisms were off-putting to the man. After securing some supplies, the party returned to the now cleared first level of the tower. They went to Boss Skrong, who was angry Woza was dead and his ballad was not to continue as promised, but the party was able to convince the Gremlin Lord that they would keep spreading word of his greatness if he would help them find entry to the second level of the lighthouse. After some consideration, he agreed and showed them a secret passage beneath the fake bone golem that led directly into the level beneath. If you can believe it, patrons, our heroes soon found the second level of Gauntlet more deadly than the first. The party immediately discovered that the milky-eyed people the gremlins had referred to were actually Morlocks, humanoids that had long ago sworn off the life of the surface world in order to thrive in the dark and deep places of Golarion. They battled several Morlocks before finding a group of men in a prison. These men claimed to be in the employ of the leader of the Thieves' Guild in Otari. The party agreed to let them out when they were ready to go. Our heroes saw little of the second level that day, though it should be noted they found a well that seemed to lead into a deep chamber beneath, and they distinctly heard several voices chatting and laughing below. They also found a shrine that seemed to be a point of worship for the Morlocks. In the shrine room, they found a secret door that opened to a hallway filled with empty sepulchres. They cautiously crept down that hallway in order to avoid notice, but to no avail. Their passage alerted a long, dormant, undead shadow that attacked them viciously. The shadow fell upon Runa with evil ferocity. It is here that I am sad to inform you, dear patrons, that Runa, cleric of our holy protector Lord Ragathiel, fell that day. As the party fell upon the shadow with renewed vengeance, they experienced visions of the creature's life. They saw hundreds of undead, devils, aberrations, and other races bowing before Belkara, swearing their eternal loyalty to her cause. They somehow knew the shade they slew was one such servant of the sorceress from almost half a millennia before. Though the wretched undead was slain, our heroes decided to strategically withdraw. They carried the dead body of their friend back up to the first level, with the surviving thieves traveling with them. In Otari, Arian became enraged. The lighthouse had already claimed his sister, and now he had witnessed its evil with his own eyes. He felt the town was not doing enough to support them, so he took it upon himself to break the glass surrounding the Blade of Cooperation and took it for himself. Ren warned Arian that she had seen a thread of fate where such a thing occurred. It would almost certainly end up in his death as well as the death of others. In disgust with the whole affair, he threw the blade into the mud and made to leave Otari and Godlight forever. Before he could leave, the monk Chen Po gave him a skin of sake and wished him luck. And thus this chapter ends with two of our heroes exiting the narrative, Runa by fate's deadly hand and Arian by an inability to control his rage. The next chapter of our story begins with our heroes a few days later. Chen Po and Durin the archaeologist are headed to the Crook's Nook, where they plan on meeting two new adventurers that have taken up Otari's call to arms.